on September 7th at the Ron DeCora Event Center at 7 p.m. So she's performing there then, and she'll be better prepared at that night. All right, the rest of you didn't get the memo. James Green and I are the only ones that got the memo. You got to have the boot on to get a free lunch. So I know we're not Democrats. So all right, listen. This is very important. There is no trackers are allowed. There is no recording. If you record and you're caught, your phone and your whatever will be turned over to Sheriff Lombardo. So I thank you very much, Sheriff, for attending today. And of course, on his left is Judge George Assad. Now, most important, I want to introduce my board, the people who keep me honest and forthright, okay? My first Vice President, Rob Carlone. Second Vice President, Dwight Mazzone, who's also Chairman of the CCRP, and doing a great job. Jackie Thornhill, our Secretary. Our Treasurer, Bill Cole, who's walking in the room now after collecting all the money. And my right-hand person, Karen Ellis, our marketing. Now, the rest of the board members, Jamaj, Jerry, Bill, please stand up, my board. Thank you so much, Suzella Grange, Dave Austin, who you might have met at the door.
Retired.
Who did I forget, Karen? Oh, Sherry. Sherry was named after the Four Seasons song. And of course, our past president, John Cole, and our past president, Phil Klein. And, yes, the person I succeeded as president, I know you'd rather have her back. She's prettier than me, Suzette LaGrange. Suzette, stand up. Come on up front, Bill. All right. Oh, Mr. Mickelson, I'm sorry, past president, and Mark Howell, and then finally, Dwight Mazzone's newly elected vice chairman of the Clark County Republican Party, Dave Gaffney. Which we do not win on November 8th unless we have a strong Clark County Republican Party. Now, a few things. We have some celebrities here, but one of the people that I want to mention is my wife, Darlene. Fortunately, she won't hear me today because she's back in the Northeast visiting family. Anybody else get the Wall Street Journal? You see the Wall Street Journal on Saturday morning? U.S. in weakest recovery since 1949. And HRC wants to double down on the failures of the Obama administration. What's the definition of insanity? Keep doing the same thing you've done over and over and expect different results. Come on! I'm sorry. I promise I won't go on. I have all this material here, but I won't go on, okay? Somebody I want to introduce, who's been in the paper, and thank you for taking this position. Speaking of insanity, certain organizations want to keep status quo in our school system. Judge Eric Johnson, please stand up. We owe this gentleman a big thank you for being a stalwart on the bench. And thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. And the ESAs, we need to get behind them.
Yes.
In the late 90s, after I was done a law enforcement career, I spent 4 years on the Board of Education in Danbury, Connecticut. That was an education in itself, and I realized why we were hurting so much in education in this country. And I'm telling you, thank you, Judge Eric Johnson, for all that you're doing. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So, Congressman Hardy, thank you for being here today. I was telling the congressman before, and I really mean this. How can you go, his opponent, and speak before the Democratic Convention with no U.S. flag? That disgusts me. Anybody, law enforcement, public safety, military, come on. What is wrong with them? I'm sorry. Keep your mouth shut, Bob. That's the only way. Pauline, you were supposed to, Pauline Lee, you were supposed to tell me that. Remember if I got out of hand today? All right, we have a few people representing candidates. Where's Ken? Ken, stand up, please. Representing our next U.S. Senator to replace the blankety blank, who's our U.S. Senator now. Ken Minster, representing Congressman Brigadier General Dr. Joe Heck. Congressman Heck, next U.S. Senator, we're trying to get for next month or the month after. We're going to have them, or we're working on one of the Trump family members or someone else of status that we need to get here because we need to turn or to keep Nevada red. Do I get you all in agreement on that? We need to keep Nevada red. All right, if you have any questions about Congressman Hardy's campaign, where's Ross? Oh, Bob Euchre, front row. Okay, Ross is over here representing the Congressman's campaign. If you got any questions, you want to volunteer, see Ken, see Ross, and Mary Perry running CD1. Dirty Dina. You need Dina taxes. Travesty of justice, I'll tell you about. I have another story for you, just very quickly. A very close friend of mine wanted to get into the White House to do a tour. Dina Titus couldn't do anything in 5 months' time. I got it done in less than 2 months. And not because I'm connected with Obama, by the way. All right. And also we have Stephanie and Brian Holzheimer. Where are they? Representing, they're at the back of the room. Representing, hopefully, State Senator Victoria Seaman. In State Senate District 6. We need to keep the control of the state Senate, ladies and gentlemen. I want everybody here to pledge to our board today that you will get out and vote so we get Donald Trump elected president. And with that, if you have any questions, Mo, where are you? Mo Cara, stand up, please. Mo Harris is the Nevada Coalition Director for the Trump campaign. If you have any questions, please see her, how to volunteer, etc. All right? Full disclosure, you know, I couldn't come out and endorse, but I'll tell you what. If nothing else, because I know you all have friends who question it, because he's not a politician. He's a successful businessman. Everybody in this room would love to be successful as Donald Trump in business. And if he's going to be that successful in business, he will be that successful in the White House. Because he won't take any of this garbage, this political correctness and everything else. And I'm sorry for ranting on. My wife was here, she cut me off. Okay. See, I have my two sergeants in arms here. All right. Also, we have a few of the people running for office. Representing Dean Heller, by the way, is Darren Hardman. Where are you? Ms. Hardman? Representing our Senator Dean Heller. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Also, speaking of Dean Heller, if you have any questions, the table on my far right. Evelyn, are you going to use that for some future event? Everybody's got to know Evelyn. Anyways, on August 17th, see Carol or Yuli, raise your hand, ladies. For August 17th,
they are the women's club.
Majano's at the Fashion Show Mall, 11 a.m., 11:30. It's a lunch, $30 for members, $35 for guests. And if you have your cell phones, please turn the vibration off. Now, let me get to running for state assembly. We got Christine DeCourt. Also running for state assembly, Jim Martin. Stand up, Jim. Also running for state assembly, Keith Picard. Keith. That's in District 22, Double Deuce. And representing Double Deuce, where's our state representative, Lynn Stewart? There he is, back there. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for the sacrifice of running. And finally, Judge Janice Marshall. Janice Marshall. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for everyone for being here, one and all. So, are you ready, sir? It gives me great pleasure at this time to introduce our Congressman from CD4, Preston Hardy.
Anybody be offended if I stand out in front of the podium, sit behind it? I don't like being behind it. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for being here today. First, I'm going to start off with some of the privileges I've had as being first-term congressman. You know, going to Congress, we hear that the president can't get much done. You're basically there to learn. You're there to be seen somewhat and not heard. I can tell you it's not the case. As a first-term legislator, I've had the opportunity to serve on every committee that was one of the packages that I wanted. Transportation and infrastructure. That's what I've done my whole life. I've been in 40 years I've been in the construction industry. 20 of that I was a business person, building roads, bridges, dams, many other sewer lines, street facilities. But I've also had an opportunity to serve on the RTC here locally, Regional Transportation Commission, for almost 14 years through the 90s and early 2000s. And so I understand what it takes to create infrastructure, what it takes to finance, what the frustrations are from not having those needs met, especially to a growing community. I've been on the Regional Flood Control District, I've been on the Health District, and I had the opportunity to be a member of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. So I understand a little bit about situations, but transportation infrastructure is important. And it's not only important to the nation, it's important to the Nevada. I had the privilege of serving on subcommittees. One of them was Highway and Transit, and also be the vice chairman of Highway and Transit. Why is that important? Well, we passed this year, or last year, the first long-term spending bill that's been done in over 20 years. I think there's 63 short-term resolutions been passed. Nobody can plan for the future on a short-term resolution. So we have to plan for the future. You have to have the dollars put in place. You have to have the funding mechanism to do so. And I have the opportunity to be the vice chair of that committee with a real honor and privilege. I actually asked John Boehner, back when I had that opportunity on there, along with Chairman Schuster, why they let me have that privilege. And they made the comment. This tells you a little bit, they do study out the new freshmen coming in, and they know a little bit about who we are and what we do. And they said, Crescent, there's probably nobody on the Hill more qualified for transportation infrastructure than you are. I thought that was pretty cool that they could tell me that when we have an opportunity. One of the other subcommittees is pipeline and rail. That's big for Nevada also. We have pipelines that go through our community. We have a rail system that's important to us. Not as important as most states, but it's important. And also waters of the U.S. What can be more important than being on a subcommittee for the waters of the U.S.? That influences and affects this whole nation, and especially the desert Southwest. You know, this administration is focused on controlling every element of your life. He wants to control your mud puddle in your backyard. He wants to control your swimming pool. And so the opportunity to be on that committee, I had the pleasure of passing legislation to kind of slow down some of this administrative regulations that he's done. The other subcommittee, or other committee was on public lands subcommittee. It's natural resources committee of the whole. Public lands is a subcommittee of minerals and energy. Every one of those is important in the state of Nevada. Anybody that knows Crescent already knows this is a passion of mine. I believe that this state, this community especially, has been disenfranchised from the opportunity of economic growth and development, to be prosperous and industrious along with other states. Is it any wonder that we don't have the dollars to tax properties for education, infrastructure, and others? We have legislators coming up with other narratives. Our founding fathers intended for us to make sure that we were on fair and equal footing as states. That meant to have our lands to be able to grow and prosper. Not every state has the same thing. Some have ports, some have timber, some have other issues that they can develop off of. We have minerals. We have sun. We have solar opportunities. Is it any wonder that the federal government continues to compete with us? Why aren't those land leases that are going out to these solar projects, dollars coming back onto this state? Let me give you one example. Tonopah Solar. Some of you may have heard of that place. It's, I think it has a brother-in-law or something to Nancy Pelosi. Harry retired somewhere there. But the federal government gets leased back for that 2,000 acres, $2 million a year for that lease on that property. Would that be better in our coffers? Church over in Florida would love to have it in his department to help do the job he wants to do. So there's many of those projects like that. So that's why public lands is a big issue to me. We can go in and down with those issues. The other one that's really important to me is the small business committee, and have the opportunity to be the chairman over oversight and regulation. That, my friends, is what's causing our economy. Because the challenges that we have because of this administration and other administrations, this over-regulatory burden that's put on small businesses that keeps them from being prosperous, from being able to create jobs, that help pay for Social Security, Medicare, and other issues. You want to solve those issues? Let's put people back to work. That should be our number one focus. Just to give you a small sample of what this administration's done, any of you have any idea how many pages of regulations were put in last year? 82,035 pages. Wow. That's almost 300 pages a day that you'd have to, working day, that you'd have to read to keep up, to find out whether you're violating something from the federal government. You know what the dollar number what that was? It's costing our economy because of these regulations. There's just a report come out here a while back. $2.3 trillion. The 9th largest economy in the world, folks. It's costing our small businesses to produce. All about environmental things that really aren't environmental. It's special interest groups. It's the status quo that continues to happen in this country. That's why Donald Trump is popular, because people are tired of the status quo. They want to change. Now we need to continue to move forward and make the change. I don't care if it's me that needs to be changed. Do it, folks. Get us out of there. I'll replace myself with somebody that knows more than I do and understands it better. But I'm not here because this is something that I desire to do, folks. This is not something that was a big dream that I woke up one morning I wanted to do. You know, Congress isn't the greatest success I've ever had in my life. The greatest privilege, the greatest success that I've ever had in my life was raising 4 children that are self-reliant, self-sufficient, and independent, that are raising families of their own. That's the greatest privilege that I've ever had. The greatest privilege I've ever had in my life was being an employer. Having the opportunity to create jobs. That's taking care of families. That's part of that three-legged stool that Ronald Reagan talked about. Anybody remember what that three-legged stool? What makes a strong nation? Strong defense, strong economy, and strong families. Remember that. Any one of those collapse, this nation collapses. Guess what? We're weak on all three, folks. I had no idea until I come to Congress. I've had some of the greatest privileges of my life. Do you know in my district that I have the 3 greatest assets of the military anywhere in the nation? Nellis, Creech, and Hawthorne Depot. Largest depot in the country. Those are in my district. And then I find out what's going on. Things that I can't talk about necessarily here because there's things that are confidential that I don't have a private server, by the way. But with that being said, if you knew all the things that I'd like to tell you, you need to be scared. You need to understand, we need to get our economy moving again so we can afford to pay for these issues because we can't continue to go in debt. I ran on the fact that I want to balance the budget and reduce the debt deficit. Then I got there and I found out even if I could balance the budget today, from the numbers, I can't actually balance it because basically the obligations that are out there were committed before I came to office. But we come up with a plan that in the next 9 years that we can actually get it down and we can actually start paying down the debt. You know, I introduced a balanced budget amendment. Simple one. Doesn't mean a whole lot maybe to people, but think about it. I think it's about 40% of the state, or 40 of the states have a balanced budget amendment. Every state has to balance its budget and make sure it lives within the income dollars it has, or else it has to cut. Well, we've actually cut many things over the years. Ever since the last 6 years, we've actually reduced discretionary spending every year except for last year, the omnibus, which I didn't vote for that. But with that being said, we've actually reduced the debt deficit. My little balanced budget amendment, all it says, if the president doesn't bring forth a balanced budget by the time it's due, that he loses his regulatory authority. And if the Congress doesn't bring forth that balanced budget within the time that's due, that we lose our power of the purse. I think maybe that would help us kind of move along and do some of the things we're supposed to, but it doesn't get talked about moving forward. And one of the other things I want to talk about, very important, because you won't hear it in the press a whole lot. You know, Republicans are just the voice of no. We never have any answers to anything. That's what you hear in the news. We're just the voice of no. Well, I want to tell you, you hear a lot about Newt Gingrich when he made the contract with America. I want you to go to the website. It's called The Better Way, but you go to better.gop, and you look what we are doing. There's about 70 pages there of real reforms, real things that happen. 6 major changes. Restoring our constitutional authority is one of them. So we have the power to make sure that on the REINS Act, things like the REINS Act we tried to pass, the president vetoed, that when something in regulation goes through and it costs this country and its economy over $100 million a year, then it has to be passed by Congress and by the President of the United States. Not just this president, but every president, every Congress. It also goes through and it has real poverty reforms. You know, the sign of insanity is to continue to do what you do and think that it's going to change from time to time. Well, you got to make a different direction. 50 years, we've been at war on poverty. People have gone the other direction. People have become more dependent on our government. Sorry, folks, if I've insulted you. I don't mean to offend people when I say things, but I'm going to say some things that might be offensive to you. Get over it, because I choose not to be offended, and you can't offend me, so I don't offend you. We have a responsibility to take care of our neighbors. We have a responsibility to be better community builders. Stop asking the government to do stuff that you can do for yourself. Stop creating the government you hate. That's just my opinion. But like the plaque on my wall my employees gave me years ago, pretty positive either way I'm right. So I'll let you know that. The other thing that's going on, not just the war on poverty, we're working towards tax reform. You know, this country needs major tax reform. Isn't it interesting that we tax our corporations 35%? I think it's 14% to the north of us in Canada, they tax their corporations. We tax our businesses when it leaves this country, their exports, but we don't tax that that's coming in. Where's the insanity of that? The other countries tax what we send to them on top of the tax we already taxed. Shouldn't we be taxing those people that ship stuff here? We do major tax reform, you'll see this economy change so quick. And if we get out of the way of the entrepreneur and the individual, guess what? I truly believe that we will grow so fast, so furious, when we put that economic opportunity back out there, as our founding fathers wanted us to do, that we will be able to afford those Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid issues that we were promised, along with being able to take care of our military. So it's been a privilege. I don't know what all you want to hear from us, but it has been a privilege. It's been the toughest thing I've ever done. To leave my growing grandchildren, I got to tell you, that sucks sometimes. I'd like to be here with them because you raise children and to be around them. But that's why I'm there. I don't believe my children have the same opportunities today that I did as a 5th generation son of farmer ranchers. You know, my parents didn't necessarily have a lot to give me growing up, but I had a roof over my head, I had clothes on my back, and I had food in my belly. Those are the necessities of life. The rest, you do a little extra for them. With that, I'll shut up and turn the time over to you.
Thank you, Congressman Hardy. My name is Colleen, and I'll be asking some of the questions from our audience. First, before I start, was there anybody in the audience who needed voter registration forms? Thank you. Congressman Hardy, what type of things can you do to get government off the back, small business?
I think I tried to address that earlier. Let's get regulations out of the way of the small business. Now, I'm not going to tell you that some regulations aren't needed, but most regulations should be handed down by the state government. Most things should be done at the state. Article 1, Section 8, there's very few enumerated powers that was given to Congress to deal with. All the rest were left up to the states. Now, am I going to blame this on this group of people who's in office now? No. This has been done for years. It's because of the lack of backbone by governors sometimes, standing up to say, no, that's my authority, not the federal government's authority. So when you choose a governor, make sure you choose one who's going to stand up. He's going to fight for his right to be a state. And with that also, if we just remove some of these regulatory things, do a tax policy that helps stimulate growth, I think we can get that accomplished. But we can't get done in this administration because he's continuing to be where we try to do.
Thank you. Congressman Hardy, at the Republican National Convention, there were some Nevada officials, publicly elected officials, who are not present, including Governor Sandoval and yourself. Why was that?
I'll give you that answer. And if it offends you, we'll get over it. Here's my answer to that. I would have had a desire to go because I thought this was going to be the greatest convention ever. But even from the instruction of my peers, they said, Crescent, you need to focus on your district. You've got the #1 targeted race in the nation. I didn't have a delegate vote. So what do you want me to do? Go back there and play around and hang out with the rest of the people? I'm here because I believe that I got a chance to win this race again. Not just because it's the toughest race, but it's because I do it doing the job of the people. I'm doing what I promised I would do, folks. I want to prove that you don't have to go out and campaign all the time. I'm not Mr. Photogenic and like to run to the limelights like my opponent. That's why he was there, so he could get attention, because he knows he can't win this because he's not sharp enough to be able to do it. He's never been in a job in his life. People want people of action. Isn't that what you want? Somebody that's here to work and do the job of the people? I don't spend all my time. You talk to Ross Heminger right over here, my campaign manager. He feels deprived that I don't spend enough time with him and the campaign folks. But you know what? I spend time with my district office, try to do a balance there, make sure I focus on the issues of the district. That's what's important to the people. Now I'm going to just answer the other question. Why haven't I endorsed Donald Trump? I've said all along I will support and vote for the Republican nominee because the other option's not there. Do I agree with Mr. Trump on all issues? No, I do not. But I think he's the best man in this race to be able to accomplish what we want. I will support him 100%. I'll do whatever he wants me to do to help him get elected. And I think he'll do the same for me.
Congressman Hardy, other than the fact that your opponent actually had to move into your district, yes, a carpetbagger, what sets you apart from your opponent?
Try that again.
What sets you apart from your opponent?
Here's the difference. Founding fathers never intended what I call poli-sci students to just go and make this a career, and go and represent people who not know about anything that they're there to deal with. And the thing that sets me apart is my experience in the real world. I've signed what I call all 3 sides of the check. Yes, there's only 2. There's one other that a business guy does that other people don't do. He goes and puts his family's livelihood on the line. Every time you have to borrow money, that doesn't just put mine, that puts my family on the line. This gentleman, or as I know, has never created a job. I don't even know that he's held a full-time job or anything other than political purposes. So, if that's what people want, life's about choices and consequences. I won't be offended either way. I'm here to do a job. I hope people think that that's the right direction they want to go. Life's about choices and consequences.
And now, you weathered some attacks from the Democratic machine saying that you don't look like your constituency. What does that mean to you?
You know, that's the thing that's always amazed me. Because I'm white, I'm a racist and I'm a bigot. Really? You know, I can't understand some of the issues because I am white. I'm not a black person. I'm not a brown person. But you know what? There's one thing that I know that I have in here that I dare say that my opponent doesn't have. I have a love for mankind. And I even love my enemies. I'm a person that cares about the human person. And I think people recognize that. That's the reason I think I got elected. People know that I will represent everybody. You know, I got elected as a Republican. Might be offensive to this group, but I hope not. You know, when you're elected to an office, you don't just represent the people who got you there. You represent all 730,000 in my district. Democrat, Libertarian, Independent, and Republican alike. You try to represent those people. You stand up for your principles, your morals, your values, and you legislate towards your conscience. That's what I've done. If that's offensive, sorry folks, stop being offended. We don't all think the same. People are offended by Republicans because we don't get along. That's what I like about the Republican Party. You know what? It's good that I don't think the same as everybody else. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I'm a great listener. And what you do, what happens when you listen, you learn. I think sometimes I'm the smartest guy in the continent, and sometimes you find out you're not, and I can accept that. But when you think you're the smartest guy and you're not, and you continue to think you're the smartest guy, you got a challenge there, and that's what happens sometimes in Congress. It's all right for us to disagree. I'd just as soon not be a lemming and follow everybody else over the legs. So thank you.
What is your relationship like with Speaker Paul Ryan, and do you approve his support of Obama's budget?
Do I approve of his support of Obama's budget?
Did you? Well, actually, let's start with the first question. Describe your working relationship with Speaker Paul Ryan.
I think for a first-term legislator, a first-term guy that has had the opportunity to associate with leadership, Paul Ryan is one fantastic guy. People might be offended by his views. They choose to be offended. But Paul Ryan is a righteous individual. He has strong opinions about things. He's brought this group together better than it was before. There is nobody in the House of Representatives that's going to bring this Republican Party together 100%. It's not who we are.
And what do you think of Paul Ryan's A Better Way?
Great. I just talked about that a minute ago. This better way is a real issue that I hope people will go to better, not GOP. It's not just I talking about things. This lays out the plan. It's 70 pages. Everybody can read that many pages. I think you'll be impressed with what we've got going. And I spoke about that earlier. 6 major components that we're working on. There's been focused on. We tried to get some of them through last year. This year we've decided just to put it out there. It's better than the contract with America because it spells out in detail what we plan on doing. And guess what? Speaker Ryan has spent time with future President Donald Trump, and he's discussed this over. Donald Trump has reviewed it, and he supports it, and will, I think in most cases, it's going to sign it. Anything we get through.
Great. What is the one thing from Paul Ryan's Better Way that you think is different than what you've seen before?
The one thing that I like the most, and the one that I worked on the most, is restoring our constitutional authority. You vote me to go do a job in Washington, D.C., and I didn't realize it until I got back there. There's nothing I can do to stop the administration, because they continue to do things, and that this president uses them as a law, puts them into law to his regulatory side. You get a different president, maybe you can change it, but by that time the damage is already done, as you've seen. So that's the one that I like the most, is just being able to do what people hired me to do. You know, this is a we the people issue. Right now, you hired me to do a job, and there's not anything I can do to stop this on.
And talking about a president who seems to want to do whatever he wants to do, and despite what people think, what do you think about Obamacare and how it has destroyed our quality health care? Is there any hope of reversing some of the Obamacare rules and regulations?
Not only hope, but that's part of the better way. It's a detailed plan. Gets it back into the private sector's hands. It deals with issues, if you elect the right president, we can do this, repeal, replace. Repeat things like pre-existing conditions, those are good ideas. Children in your household, it's under the age of 26 or 27, whatever it is, they're good issues. But as you've already seen, United Health, which is the largest healthcare provider in the country, is pulling out of this because it can't work. And we continue to increase. In some states, we've already found out this year it's over 60% increases in health insurance. Businesses can't sustain it. They're not going to be able to afford it. We're losing businesses faster than we can open them up.
And will the federal government be helping these health insurance companies out by bailing them out?
We won't have to, because guess what? When it comes down to it, there'll be competition. Competition is good for a country. There's certain issues the government's put in place to take care of those who cannot take care of themselves. The rest of us have a responsibility to take care of ourselves, and there's many others.
You've been on record for opposing the Iran deal. What is the one particular part of that deal that you disagree with?
All of it. You know, we can dye a tiger's hide and maybe change its color, but the stripes are still there, and they will come back. This is the most dangerous group of individuals anywhere on the continent. And when somebody says they want to destroy you, you better believe it. It's not just an ideology, it's a belief. It steps in their way of trying to take over a world. There's people that came before us, Hitler, Mussolini, and others, that have the same plans. This regime, I'll call it Iran, have that same desire. They're just biding their time. This does not stop them from getting a nuclear weapon. This basically ensures it. It just gets them the money to be able to continue their terrorist activities along with everything else. And there's the insanity of my opponent. He believes in the guy in the White House. And the one that's he's supporting, endorses her completely, and she believes this is a great idea. We've already found out that everything he told us was a bunch of pack of lies. So we told the public we already knew that.
Well, I'm worried about our national security. And one of those things about national security I'm worried about is how do you protect our power grid?
There's been a number of things with a lot more intelligent people that I have been working on our power grid and how to solve those issues. Are we up to par yet? No. We've got a long ways to go. It takes dollars to do that. But I don't believe in increasing budgets. I believe in taking money from those things that we really don't need. But that's tough sometimes to get legislation moving through. There's actually good legislation moving through. I think it's the energy bill is actually coming forward. That I happen to be on that conference committee. Let me tell you, that's one of the other privileges that I've had. 4 out of the 8 conference committees that have come out of the House, I've had the privilege of being on. Twice on the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. And that's what, when we go back, that's one of the things I'll be working on. And the major energy bill that's out there. I'll get the chance to work on it. But 4 out of the 8. Anybody knows what a conference committee is? I'll just give you a short education. That's about 14 individuals from the House side meeting with about 8 people from the Senate side. And have negotiations and trying to come together and solve or resolve issues so we can get a budget out. That's been a real privilege to be able to do that.
Thank you, Congressman. Who are your Nevada heroes that have inspired you to run for office?
I don't mean to be negative. But I've never been what you call a political guru that understands everybody, but I just go back to somebody that probably I was respected the most was probably Paul Axon. I thought he was a great representative of the state of Nevada. And today's his birthday, I understand. He's only 94.
And what do you think has been your greatest accomplishment in the last 2 years since you've been in office?
You know, I've been told that I've been very successful as a freshman, that I've been involved with a lot of legislation that's been passed. I've passed some bills of my own, the Nevada Eastern Lands Act, addressed some others. So, without sounding proud, which I'm not, it's frustrating for me. I can say that nothing makes me proud about it because it's a process that frustrates me. Being a 40-year construction worker and coming home every day and seeing that I accomplish something every day is, that's a sense of accomplishment. To go to Washington and have people tell you, man, you've done a lot as a freshman, you've been very successful. I think, what the hell have I done? I haven't turned the country around, I haven't changed anything. I haven't stopped a lot of stuff. I guess that's part of the process, but for me it's frustration mostly.
Well, I've noticed that from one of the conservative magazines, literature, that you were voted, you had the highest ranking for voting conservative. Any thoughts on that?
You know, depends on which magazine you look at. There's one, yeah, the highest ranking in Nevada. I'm going to tell you what, we've got some great legislators in Nevada. I will take nothing against them. You know, many of you know this, I've been a roommate with Mark Amadei. Mark Amadei is a guy that's almost a comedian nonstop, but you will not find many people smarter than Mark Amadei. I have never seen a guy's mind work like it works, and so I'm very impressed with that. You won't find a harder worker than Joe Heck. You won't find a guy like Senator Dean Heller that is methodical, understands direction. You may not agree with all his policies, but sometimes you have to settle for issues. So I put them well above me in attitude and aptitude. It's a privilege, I guess, to have that score.
So my final question is, who is a cleaner roommate, you or Mark Amadei?
I would say that you will not find two more Felix-type characters in your life. Literally, I got to tell you, it was interesting. I get nervous because I lived in Vegas for 4 years. I worked construction, and I had to go back home. Got homesick from mom. But living down here, I had a number of roommates, and I fired them all. Basically, kicked them out because I don't like hair in the tub. I don't like, a number of things. So I was a little nervous about rooming with Mark. The guy's anally tinny. He doesn't even set a plate down before he washes it and puts it away. So I didn't think anybody could be worse than I am. So we're both Felix.
Well, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for representing us.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.